Right, Paddy Moloney, aka the Altar Boy. Um, Always a pleasure, mate. We did a book for when was it? About 4 years ago.
3-4 years ago, yeah. The Altar Boy, yeah.
Uh, just trying to. Yeah, it was definitely about 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying this to flatter you, mate, but that was so many people have said that was um the best out of the Middlesbrough lot. You know, there's one or two that I wish I'd never done, but I'm not going to go there. But everyone really enjoyed it, mate. And it was basically because you were humble. You weren't beating 10 people up on every page.
Yeah.
You were one of the lads, and you were a lot more honest than probably I would have been. But you've got the subject we're going to talk about tonight. As I said, we're not going to go into any kind of thing with Lee Duffy. I mean, Paul Bryan's kind of known in the story, if you like.
Yeah.
He was 10 months on remand for the conspiracy to kill Duffy, and then obviously he went on to become kind of infamous, if you like. Paul Bryan extremely well.
Yes.
Talk to me, Paddy. What's happening?
Right. Paul's been in jail now for about 22, 23 years. He's in jail for murder. It's been a long time. I've been with him on this journey from day one. It's been a lot easier journey for me than it has for him. What he's doing. He's doing it's like a marathon of burpee jumps. He's doing 5,000 burpee jumps. It's for charity. It's for a really good charity called Acorn Hospice. Now, Acorn Hospice, it's all over the country, different parts of the country. And what they do, they cater for children who are terminally ill. These kids are not going to get better. And Paul's got together with some of the prison officers and some of the staff in HMP Long Lartin and has decided to do this. All proceeds go direct to Acorn Hospice. They don't come to me, they don't go to Paul, they go direct to the hospice. So I've started a charity page for it. We've had a little bit of response, but it's been quiet at the moment. He starts on the 1st of October. He's allowed to go to the gym for 1 hour a day and do as many as he can. And hopefully he'll have them done within the 7 days. But what I've done, I've just wrote a little thing down. So like people that don't know Paul Bryan, I don't know of him, we'll give them like a brief take into what I'm talking about and who he was. If you want me to read it.
Yeah, fire away. Can I just say, so basically, it's very commendable. Basically, he's doing something basically for terminally ill children. So that is incredible. I'm going to put the link in this bio after that. Anyone wants to donate, whether it's £1, the full 100%, every penny will go to the children. So that's what I'll do. But Paul Bryan, very infamous, very notorious figure in Middlesbrough. I won't name him, but a guy who very, very well known. He said to me, he said, if he ever does a book, he said, forget all whatever you've done. He said his is an unbelievable story. The level of kind of the people he's been around. I'm not glamorizing any kind of thing, but I suppose he was.
I think Paul's professional. He knows he's had a bad life. You know, he's had a very bad life. He's made some really, really bad mistakes. Obviously, you know, he's in jail now for 23 years, coming up to the end of his tariff. But I've tried to detail it best I can. So I'll have to put my glasses on, Jamie, and
You're getting old, Paddy.
And I am old. Right, Paul Bryan in 2002, age 41, was arrested for a double murder and one attempted murder. Paul accused of shooting David Nelson and Joe Montgomery, plus attempted murder on David's brother Andrew in Leeds. Paul pleaded guilty to all charges. Paul was adamant all the way he was not the shooter. Paul was later found guilty on all charges, receiving 2 life sentences with a 33-year tariff. This tariff was later reduced, not by much though. Paul is now approaching the end of his tariff and he is still a Cat A prisoner. Paul has been in prison for 23 years, completed every course that they've asked of him. I've been in touch with Paul from the very start of this sentence. I've seen Paul go through many changes. I visit him when I can, and he phones me at least once a week. He never asks for anything. After 22, 23 years in prison, in my opinion, Paul is not the same person and is fully rehabilitated. It's easy for me to say, but I'm in contact with him. He's now approaching his old age pension age. Paul spends what time he has left with his family, grandkids, great-grandkids, nephews, nieces. Yes, I know other families, Jamie, I know other families need to be taken into consideration. David Nelson, Joe Montgomery's family, God knows how they must have coped with their loss. I knew neither of these two men, but David and Joe were no angels. Living in a murky world where you live by the sword and you die by the sword. Paul has lost all his parents while he's been in prison, not allowed to go to any of their funerals. Paul was allowed to watch parents' funerals by video link in a prison chapel, sat with prison officers and a prison chaplain. Very, very sad, really. Paul had a long lost list of crime before this life sentence. From the age of 13 years, Paul was into petty crime while living in North Ormsby before moving to South Bank. You could say Paul was a career criminal. Paul, from a very young age, Jamie, suffered really badly from mental health. And as a child, he was diagnosed with schizophrenia. This was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
It was swept under the carpet. Paul received no help at that time. And now you know all the help that people are getting now with mental health, and that's so. Now, while being in prison, Paul has addressed all of these demons, and has changed his mindset and his life around him with the support of his loving family, grandkids and great-grandkids, and the help from the prison service. Like I say, he's done all the calls. He's never dodged any of them. Paul has never had a second chance in life, and he's on his road to rehabilitation. He's almost there. People will disagree with me, but on his journey, I've been with Paul, and I've seen it firsthand. Back to the reason for this podcast with Jamie Boyle. Paul has arranged with the prison staff at HMP Long Lartin to do a sponsored marathon of 5,000 burpee jumps, which is phenomenal. This will take place in the prison gym, supervised by prison staff. Paul will be allowed 1 hour a day over a 7-day period to complete this task. The charity Paul and prison staff have chosen is Acorn Hospice. Acorn Hospice is for children who are terminally ill. It's a fantastic charity. These children will never recover. But whatever Paul raises will help them in the comfort, and all programs go direct to the Acorn charity. So whatever you think of me, you think of Paul, put that to one side. He's doing it for these kids. So whatever you can donate, £1, £2, £3, £4, £5, whatever you can donate, it's not going to do Paul any good. Paul is trying to do good for other people. He knows all about his life, and he's trying to, he's got grandkids out there looking at him. He's got great grandkids growing up, and they know all about him. He just wants to come home and settle back to the normal life. Touch wood, he gets it. And
so he got 33, and it got knocked back. That was it. It got reduced. Sorry, to
23 or 24. But last time I spoke to him, he's still a Cat A prisoner. And what he said, Jamie, was he's done all of his sentence as a Cat A prisoner, and he's done maybe a third of his sentence, in solitary confinement, because of the way Paul is. Most of these heavy duty jails, these long-term jails, are probably run by Muslims. Paul has a daughter, and he used to have photographs of it because he was very proud, and he got a lot of backlash over it. So kept out the way. So some prisons where he goes, if it's a Muslim population, he can't go on on the wing. He has to go to solitary, and other reasons too. But I think he got it reduced to 24, the tariff, and he's been in 22, 23. So when he gets to his tariff, he won't be released. He still has to prove to the parole board that he's okay. But like I say, time to change, and he's not the same man that he was 22 years ago. His family have followed him. His kids have followed him all over the country. I've followed him all over the country. And he
Can I ask you, Paddy? Obviously, when he was sentenced, 2002, I think it was. I think he must have been arrested about 2001. I mean, were you at the court?
No, I never went to court. No.
How does someone cope with when you're 41 and you were given 33 years? I mean, I know he said to me, I've spoken with him quite a lot over the years, and he said, you know what? I thought at one point I wasn't even bothered about wanting to come out. You know, and he has kind of. I mean, he's in Long Lartin now. He's wanting to be moved up north. We're going to talk about going to see him. It's. I mean, there is a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel now, isn't there? Kind of. He doesn't want to go back into life. Is it just for grandkids and that now? And
mainly for family, because I mean, to go to Long Lartin from Middlesbrough and have your visit, it's a 10-hour round trip, maybe it's 12-hour round trip, depending on the weather. But what Paul has always said was, well, I know at the beginning of Paul's sentence, Paul's head was all over. He wasn't a nice person at the beginning of his sentence, the first 4 or 5 years. But as he's grew into his sentence, he's done these courses, which are supposed to rehabilitate you. And I think they're working with Paul, because I speak to Paul every week, maybe once a week, definitely, maybe twice a week. But he's so positive. When he gets his knockbacks for his parole, when he gets his knocks back for his cat C, he never calls anyone. He's so calm, and he just says, "It has to come, Paddy. You know, what can I do?" And there's nothing he can do. He can just wait. But people might be watching this and go like, "Oh, Paul Bryan." If they know him, they might have reason to call him. If they don't know him, they've got no reason to call him, only because of what I've said. But he's made his mistakes, and he's paid. You know, he's paid daily. He hasn't seen none of his kids grow up. He's lost his mum. He lost his father. He lost his stepfather, and was never allowed to go to jail. And he was really close to these people. So it must have hurt.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about a book. I mean, it's written, and it's basically. I know he's on about wait to send it out when he goes up north. Is that still the plan? Because he was basically just giving it all to charity, didn't he? You know, there was no money or nothing like that.
Yeah, that's what he wanted to do. Yeah, he wanted to write the book and just donate everything to for kids' charities. Yeah. He's like I say, I know Paul different from everyone else. People will watch this and they're like, yeah, I'll probably get a few sarcastic remarks, but I'm not doing it for me. I'm not doing it for Paul. I'm doing it for his family. I'm in contact with his kids. They phone me. Kelly phoned me the other day. She was upset. You know, I mean, I take flowers to his dad's grave for him. Yeah. Things like, phone me and say it's Father's Day. Can you text us a balloons? Can you do that? You know, because he can't do it himself. But like, at the way it stands now, he still Cat A. He has to go through to be Cat B, Cat C, Cat D, and then come home. So how much longer are they going to keep him? I don't know. But
yeah, with Bronson as well. People would say, "No, he's getting out," and I'm like, you know, you'd have to be at least on a wing for 2 years. Round people, it's like it's just not happening. And you know, I'm going to be honest. I think it's going to be quite a while for Paul, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I see him maybe 5 to 7 years. Well, Bronson's institutionalised. I mean, he doesn't want to come home.
No,
I mean, he's safe where he is in jail. He's in the top. But like,
he's somebody in there, isn't he? Obviously, and then take that away, and then you know, I know I wouldn't want to be in there, no matter what. You know the drill as well, Paddy. But so I'm going to put the link. I'm going to put the link in the bio, and it's basically. I mean, so the 5,000. I'm sure it was 7.5. You know, is it 7,500?
5,000 over 7 days. They're only allowing an hour. They won't give him no special privileges. He's only allowed an hour in the gym per day, and I think it works out. It's about 778 per hour. I mean, it's unfair. I mean, Paul loves his gym. The gym has kept Paul going over the last 6 to 8 years. I mean, he used to be a little fat thing like me, but now he's not. He's like, he's proud of himself. And the gym keeps him going. Gym keeps him going. But like I say, I'll repeat myself again. I'm biased because he's my friend. I just want people to give him a chance. That's all I ask.
So I'm going to put the link, as I said, I'm going to share it all over. Anyone can contribute £1, £2. It's all 100% going to go to the kids. If there's anyone kind of, I know our mate Connor speaks to him regularly as well. And if there's anyone kind of wants to reach out to him, is that can we say that or not? Or
yeah, he's a prisoner. You can write to him. There's
so he's in Long Lartin prison.
Long Lartin prison, HMP Long Lartin. Yeah, I can't remember his prison offhand because it's very rare writing to him because we speak on the phone every other day. I spoke to him yesterday, and he's quite excited and nervous about this because it's not an easy task. Because after the first days, I mean, his legs are going to be shot. You know.
Oh God.
And he's not a quitter. He won't quit. He won't quit. And it's going to be scrutinised.
Sorry, go on.
It's going to be scrutinised. There's going to be prison officers there and other people there checking that he's doing it correctly. You know, it's all about. It's a good cause and it's a good thing for him to do. And he isn't doing it so he's out because he's a long way from coming home. So he's not doing it for. But if people are thinking, oh, he's only doing it because he wants to get out and look good, that's not the reason. That's not the reason. Yeah.
And sorry, go on.
Thanks for your help, Jamie, and thanks for trying to help.
No, we've got time for Paul. Give him. I need to. Obviously, I've had certain issues, which I'll tell you offline. But I need to get in touch with him because I haven't spoken with him for a while. So we did a book, and it's still out there. It's still, and you're very happy.
Yeah, I was always happy with the book and the way you dealt with me. I mean, that's the book. You dealt with me. I haven't got no qualms with you. I didn't do it for the money, Jamie. I didn't do it for the money. I was writing the book. It was about my life story. It wasn't to big me up. It was just for me to tell me, to tell myself really, my wife, the way I'd felt over the years when I was doing things that I knew I was doing wrong. I was a wrong un, mate. I was a wrong un. But I've come out the other side.
Can I ask you that? Because obviously I've done a load of books, but it's never about me. So I don't understand it. But when you've done it, did you feel, was it therapeutic? It was almost like, because I remember Graham Seed said to me, he said, you know what? It was like Elton John when he gave up cocaine, he'd written a letter to it. And did you feel like as if, a part of your past has died and you felt better?
I was getting things off my chest because I couldn't hide anything because everyone knew it anyway. So it wasn't as if I was making things up. Everyone in our small little town, Middlesbrough and Teesside area, knew who I was and knew what I'd done and knew what I was about. So I couldn't really lie. So I was just trying to express myself. Because I have feelings too. What I done was wrong, and I started to be. But like I've turned it around. I'm lucky. Paul hasn't at the moment. He's still struggling in there. So
there is a happy ending with you. You've got kids, grandkids, a woman who probably should have got rid of you 100 times over. And basically, do you know what, Paddy? It's always a pleasure, mate. So anyone who can help Paul, not help him, anyone who can contribute, I will send something on. I'll do it this week. But anyone, I'm going to put the link in there, and then of course.
£25 now, that's between me and my wife, so it's not great deals. There's a couple of people send £5, £10. That's them are close friends. So like strangers, you just send what you just want to send,
And do you know what, Paddy? One of my favourite book subjects, and I mean, we know someone quite close. I'm not going to name him, but he was quite close to Lee Duffy, and he said, you know what? He's like, that's the best book I've ever read. Do you know what I mean? And it was fair play to you, mate. Do you know what I mean? And I think it'll be around forever. Do you know what I mean? It's one of my favourite ones. The Altar Boy, Paddy Moloney. Last one goes to you, Rick Pat.
Thank you. Cheers, mate. Now you take care.
Big love.
you, mate. You
Don't
take
forget,
care.
I'm going to put the link in the bio, Paddy's book, and if you can contribute anything to what Paul Bryan's doing, greatly appreciated. And all credit to Paul.
Yep.
God bless, Paddy. Speak soon, mate.
Take care. End it then.